Think I'm a bomb bomb. The people are Jamaican. With a different style, different fashion. You know?
Hi everyone, welcome to the very first episode of Around the Caribbean in 30 Days. My name is Lindsay and I'm so excited that you're here joining me. So thank you so much for clicking on this video and taking the time out of your day to hear what I'm trying to talk about. So today I figured this would be more of an introductory video. I would kind of introduce you into exactly why I want to do this series, my goals for this series, and probably give you a little bit of information about myself. So about me, I am the proud daughter of two Jamaican-born parents.
Help me pick up Jamaica, the land of wood and water.
And I absolutely love my heritage. Being a Jamaican American is a huge part of my identity, and anybody who knows me knows that I am absolutely, as I always put it, I am deeply rooted in my culture, and my culture is deeply rooted in me. I feel like kind of knowing the stories of my mom, my dad, my aunts and uncles, grandparents, just overall ancestors and relatives, just knowing their history and the fact that their sacrifices and their stories all came out of this one small little island in the Caribbean just means so much to me, and it's humbling and it drives me, really, it does. So being a Jamaican, it's the best feeling in the world, and I wouldn't trade that part of my identity for anything. I'm also a college student. I am an African American Studies major, and I'm also a pre-med student. So I am hoping to one day become a physician that serves our underserved communities. For me, I think to best serve the underserved communities of the United States, which tend to be predominantly Black and Latino, I feel that it's imperative to better understand the community that you're serving. I'm also an artist. I love to create things. I think I get that from my dad, and yeah, I absolutely love to create things. I love to travel, but the main reason why I love to travel is not just to escape and see different places, but really I love to learn about different cultures. I love to see, you know, different traditions and see how people do certain things around the world, and just broaden my horizon in terms of how the world works. What makes the world so beautiful is the people, and that's probably my favorite part about traveling, is just seeing the people and seeing the people that carry on these cultures and traditions and bring life to them, and really are the ones that carry these stories for generations to come. My goals for this entire series is really to open the door to dialogue, open a arena in which people can actually start seeing the Caribbean in a multiplicity of different ways. I think that in terms of the way and the lens through which people see the Caribbean, it tends to be a media manufactured lens, and it oftentimes tends to be a quite stereotypical and oftentimes monolithic lens that people see the Caribbean through. The way that people see West Indian people tends to be very monolithic, and I want to change that because I have gone through a lot of having to explain to people my culture and the culture of the Caribbean, and I've had so many people over my life always say, "Oh, you're Jamaican, you don't look Jamaican." But what does a Jamaican look like? What is a Caribbean person supposed to look like? And I think that a lot of people are uneducated and miseducated on what exactly the Caribbean is and who the people are and how rich our cultures are, and I feel like the world is missing out on all that. So the Caribbean is such a rich and vast culture with so many beautiful people that carry on these stories and carry on these cultures that it would be a shame to just miss out on all of them. Throughout the month of June, I really do hope to be as inclusive as I possibly can in terms of including all different regions of the Caribbean. That's really my main goal, is to be as inclusive as I possibly can. A lot of people don't realize that the Caribbean is made up of so many different cultures. We have so many different languages, and yes, while a lot of the Caribbean speaks English, and part of the Caribbean speaks French, and part of the Caribbean speaks Spanish, we have so many different languages. I don't even want to call them sub-languages because they're so rich that I feel like calling it a sub-language would be an injustice. It would not do it any justice to call them sub-languages because they're so unique and so beautiful, and they belong to a group of people. And a lot of Caribbean languages tell a story. I think the world has so much to learn from the Caribbean, and how really all these different ethnic groups from literally every single corner of the earth come together into this one region, and it's called the Caribbean. You have Chinese Jamaicans, you have Chinese who live in Guyana, you have Chinese in Trinidad and Tobago, you have Indians from Trinidad and Tobago, you have Indians in Guyana, you have Syrians and Lebanese and Portuguese and Spanish, you have people of Scottish descent. There's a town in Jamaica called Germantown, and it was a German settlement. So you have people who are descendants of the indigenous people of the Caribbean, Caribs, Siboneyes, and Taino-Arawak Indians. As people of Caribbean descent, we are absolutely deeply immersed in our African heritage, African cultures. And what's so important to realize is that even though our ancestors were enslaved, kidnapped from their native lands and brought to the New World, they kept with them and brought with them their traditions. And those traditions still live today. And that pays testament to the survivorship and the resilience of our people. On top of that, Caribbean people have made such an impact on the world, whether it be in the United States or Canada or England or anywhere else you may find a Caribbean person. They have made an impact and made their footprint, permanent footprint on this world, and it's amazing. Jamaicans always say, "We're little but we're talawa," and it's so true for the entire Caribbean. We have these small little islands, but we're so strong. Our people are so strong. Our people are so rich, and our riches, as Bob Marley says, does not come from material wealth. Our riches come from our stories. How rich our cultures are depend on the people, depend on how they carry them and where they carry them to, and how they continue to flourish and evolve throughout generations. That's magical. One of the most important things for me during this series throughout the month of June is that this series is as interactive as possible. I really would love it if you and I could have a conversation. If you have any suggestions, whether you're West Indian or not, if you have any suggestions, any questions, any topics that you'd like me to focus on, any groups of people that you'd like me to explore a little bit more about, I'd love to hear about all those comments, all those suggestions down below in the comment section. I also have a contact button up on my blog. If you're watching on my blog, I would love if you would contact me through there if you're not comfortable with leaving a comment. So please, I would love to hear your suggestions because I want this to be as interactive as possible. The Caribbean, not one man did it on their own. Not one man makes up the Caribbean. Not one monolithic face makes up the Caribbean. And just as much as that's true, I don't want this to be a monolith. I'm not the only one giving information here. I would love it if you could also give me some information. If you have any ideas, any facts that you know, bring it here. Thank you so much for joining me today, for taking the time to click on this video. I really hope to have you in the future and that you'll be joining me in the next episodes to come. I will be trying to post at least 2 to 3 times a week. Now, 3 might be a stretch, but I'm gonna try 3 times a week. If not 3, I'm definitely doing 2. So, without further ado, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Knowledge is power, and the mind is a terrible thing to waste. So I'm so excited to get started on this series. Walk good, my friends.
Now in Jamaica, we never say goodbye. We say walk good. If you're running, walking, driving, flying, cycling, we say walk good.